12 common first date mistakes with younger women that old men must avoid. You just had a fantastic date with a younger woman whom you believe could become your future partner. However, after the first date, she seems to be distant and is gradually disappearing. It's disappointing. It seems you may have made a mistake that put you on her rejection list. So, gentlemen, take a close look at this video. We will discuss the common first date mistakes with younger women that older men must avoid, so your next date will be an unforgettable experience. Let's get started. Let's do a little research first. Gentlemen, when it comes to a first date, what type do you think will make a better impression on her? A fancy, expensive outing, or a simple, down-to-earth one? This question leads to the first mistake. Mistake 1. Trying to impress with wealth. A common misstep for middle-aged men dating younger women is assuming that wealth will pave the way to her heart. Yes, you might have a solid career, financial stability, and the means to treat her to nice things. However, if you come across as more of a benefactor than a partner, it can create a significant disconnect. Picture this scenario. You pull out all the stops, lavishing her with extravagant gifts, dining at high-end restaurants, and showcasing your financial prowess. The problem? This approach is fundamentally flawed in two ways. First, it sets up a dynamic where she's the prize and you're trying to buy your way into her favor. Second, she's likely to pick up on the fact that you're attempting to purchase her affection, which is a major turnoff. When you lead with your wallet, you're essentially reinforcing this notion, suggesting you have little else to offer. This can make her feel uncomfortable and wary of being labeled a gold digger. Even if there's mutual attraction, she might start to distance herself, not wanting to be perceived as someone who's in it for the financial benefits. Look at older men who successfully date younger women. They don't try to buy love. They may have wealth and success, but they don't use it as a crutch. Instead, they focus on creating a genuine connection. They convey an attitude of, "I'm here to connect with you as a person, not to impress you with my money." Take a leaf out of the book of successful older daters. Yes, your financial stability is part of who you are, but it shouldn't be the focal point of your interactions. Mistake 2. Try to match her age. Another common pitfall older men encounter when dating younger women is the attempt to mirror their youth. You're dating someone in her 20s, and suddenly you feel the need to adopt the behaviors and styles of her age group. You might even start dressing like her friends, but gentlemen, this is a significant misstep. Many older men believe they need to imitate the younger generation to fit in. They'll inquire about her interests and then pretend to share them. This behavior reeks of insecurity and desperation. You end up agreeing with her on everything, not out of genuine alignment, but because you think it will make her more interested in you. Ironically, this effort to blend in and appear younger only serves to highlight the age gap you're attempting to minimize. Here's the reality. Your age is actually an advantage. It's one of the key factors that make you appealing. Younger women often seek out older men because of the maturity and experience they bring to the relationship. You possess a level of wisdom, stability, and confidence that younger men typically lack. These are inherently attractive qualities. By trying to act younger, you diminish these valuable traits and inadvertently place her on a pedestal. Instead of pretending to be someone you're not, highlight the attributes that make you distinctive. Your life experience, confidence, and self-assuredness are what truly set you apart. So, instead of mimicking the interests and behaviors of the younger crowd, focus on being the best version of yourself. Share your genuine interests and perspectives. Show her the unique qualities that come from your life journey. Mistake 3. Rushing into physical intimacy. Let's kick things off with a classic blunder: rushing into physical intimacy. Picture this. You've met a younger woman, the conversation is flowing, the chemistry is palpable, and you're tempted to fast-track the physical connection. It's a common pitfall, especially for older men who might feel the pressure to prove their vitality or worry about missed opportunities. However, moving too quickly can backfire, leaving her feeling uncomfortable, pressured, or even disrespected. Imagine you're on a first date with someone half your age. You're getting along famously, sharing laughs, and then, bam, you lean in for a kiss, or worse, make a more forward move. Suddenly, that easy rapport is shattered. She might pull away, feeling that you've misread the situation. Why does this happen? Younger women, like anyone, appreciate feeling valued for more than just their physicality. They want to be seen as individuals with their own thoughts, feelings, and boundaries. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Patience is the companion of wisdom." This Stoic gem reminds us that taking the time to truly understand and respect someone's boundaries is a mark of wisdom and maturity. It's not about delaying gratification indefinitely, but about cultivating a meaningful connection that naturally progresses to physical intimacy. For those worried about social judgment, remember, it's better to be seen as a gentleman than someone who's overly eager. Society often applauds respect and patience. By taking things slow, you not only build trust but also deflect any potential criticisms about your intentions. This shows her that you're genuinely interested in her for the long haul, not just a quick fling. Mistake 4. Avoiding publicizing the relationship. Gentlemen, if you were seen out with a much younger woman, would you own it or make excuses? We want to hear your genuine reactions. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's talk about another classic blunder older men make when dating younger women, keeping the relationship under wraps. Now I get it. Age gap relationships can raise some eyebrows. But when you're consistently avoiding public acknowledgement of your relationship, it can send the wrong message. And trust me, that's a big problem. Imagine this scenario. You're out with your younger partner and you bump into someone you know, a colleague, a neighbor, maybe even your boss. When they ask who she is, you fumble and say, "Oh, she's a friend's daughter," or "she's helping me with a project." The air gets thick with awkwardness, and you've just made things uncomfortable for both of you. Not only does this erode trust, but it also makes her feel like a dirty little secret. That's a fast track to relationship disaster. If you're worried that going public with your relationship will harm your reputation or status, you're not just being cautious, you're being selfish. You're basically telling her, "My social image is more important than you." She's likely feeling the sting of this secrecy much more than you realize. For her, hiding the relationship isn't just inconvenient, it's a denial of its significance. If you truly value her and the relationship, don't hesitate to be upfront about it. At the very least, be honest when asked. Here's a bit of wisdom from the Stoic philosopher Seneca. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. If you're spending your time hiding your relationship, you're not just wasting time, you're creating unnecessary stress and uncertainty for both of you. So what's the takeaway? Public acknowledgement doesn't mean airing all your private moments on social media. It means showing respect and commitment. If you're serious about your relationship, let the world see it. Show her and everyone else that you're proud of what you have together. Hiding a relationship is like putting a lamp under a basket. It doesn't make the light go away, it just makes everything feel darker. Be the lighthouse in your relationship, shine brightly and guide each other through the choppy waters of societal scrutiny. Mistake 5. Talking too much about yourself. Ever been on a first date where the conversation feels like a monologue rather than a dialogue? One classic pitfall, especially for older men dating younger women, is dominating the conversation with stories about oneself. While sharing your experiences is part of connecting, turning the date into a self-centered storytelling session can be a surefire way to turn her off. Imagine this scenario. You're seated at a chic bistro, and instead of engaging in a two-way conversation, you launch into an epic tale about your high school achievements, your career milestones, and your weekend hobbies. Your date, initially intrigued, starts to zone out. Why? Because she's not getting to know you. She's being bombarded with a never-ending stream of me, myself, and I. Why does this happen? It's simple. Talking excessively about yourself can come off as self-absorbed. While it's natural to want to share your accomplishments, the key is to balance it with genuine interest in her life and experiences. If she's not given space to share her own stories and thoughts, she might feel sidelined and less engaged in the date. According to dating expert Dr. Laura Berman, a balanced conversation is essential in building rapport and trust. It's not just about talking, it's about listening and engaging. For instance, if you find yourself drifting into long-winded explanations about your latest business venture, try to pivot the conversation. Ask open-ended questions like, "What are you passionate about?" or "What's something exciting you're working on right now?" This not only shows that you're interested in her, but also helps create a balanced dialogue where both of you can contribute equally. A practical tip to avoid this mistake is to use the 2-to-1 rule. For every 2 minutes you spend talking about yourself, spend at least 1 minute asking her questions or responding to her stories. This keeps the conversation dynamic and engaging for both parties. Remember, the goal of a first date is to build a connection, not to deliver a personal resume. Showing genuine curiosity about her life and interests will not only make her feel valued, but will also make you appear more engaging and relatable. So, next time you're on a date, aim for a conversational balance. Share your stories, but make sure the spotlight also shines brightly on her. This way, you both leave the table feeling heard and appreciated, setting the stage for a potentially deeper connection. Before we dive into the next lesson, make sure you've liked and subscribed to our channel so YouTube's algorithm can recommend this video to a wider audience. Thank you. Mistake 6. Overcommitting too soon. The thrill of a new romance. Everything feels exciting, and it's easy to get swept up in the moment. But here's a common misstep that older men, particularly those dating younger women, often make: overcommitting too soon. It's like planting a seed and then immediately expecting a full-grown tree. It doesn't work that way. Why is this a problem? Overcommitting early on can create unnecessary pressure. It can make your date feel like they're being rushed into a relationship, rather than given the space to explore and enjoy the connection. It's important to remember that relationships need time to develop naturally. Just as a fine wine improves with age, so does a relationship benefit from patience and gradual growth. Imagine you're on a first date, and within the first hour you're talking about booking a weekend getaway together, or discussing serious future plans. This can be overwhelming for someone who is still figuring out if there's a genuine connection. Instead of feeling excited, she might feel cornered or pressured to meet expectations that were set too early. The key is to pace yourself. Think of dating as a dance, not a sprint. The process should be about gradually getting to know each other, building trust, and seeing where things naturally lead. As dating coach and relationship expert Matthew Hussey puts it, the best relationships are built on a foundation of gradual understanding and mutual respect, not on overzealous promises made too soon. To avoid this mistake, focus on enjoying the present moments together. Keep conversations light and fun, and let things unfold organically. For example, instead of discussing future plans on a second date, enjoy talking about hobbies, favorite movies, or recent experiences. This helps build a connection without adding pressure. A good rule of thumb is the slow burn approach. Let the relationship develop at its own pace. You don't need to make grand gestures or talk about the future right away. By being present and showing genuine interest in her, you allow the relationship to grow naturally and build a stronger foundation. Remember, overcommitting too soon can create unnecessary stress and misunderstandings. Instead, embrace the journey of getting to know each other and let the relationship evolve at its own pace. This approach not only avoids overwhelming your date, but also sets the stage for a more meaningful and lasting connection. Mistake 7. Focusing too much on the age gap. You might think discussing your age gap will clear the air or address potential concerns, but often it does more harm than good. Let's dive into why fixating on the age gap can be a big misstep. Picture this scenario. You're at a cozy cafe. The conversation starts well, but soon you start bringing up the age difference. So, what do you think about dating someone older, you might ask, or it's quite an age gap, don't you think? Before long, what could have been a relaxed evening becomes a debate on the number of years between you. What's the problem here? First, constantly highlighting the age gap draws unnecessary attention to it. Rather than allowing your date to get to know you as a person, you're reinforcing the very thing you're trying to minimize. It shifts the focus from enjoying each other's company to obsessing over the difference in years. This could make the younger woman feel like she's under a microscope, leading to a situation where she starts questioning her own choices and the authenticity of the connection. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, wisely advised, "He who is brave is free." When you focus too much on the age gap, you're letting the fear of judgment control the narrative. By addressing it excessively, you're essentially saying that this is a barrier that needs to be overcome rather than a non-issue to be ignored. So, what should you do instead? Shift the conversation to topics that help build a connection. Focus on common interests, shared values, and mutual goals. Engage in lively discussions about hobbies, experiences, or aspirations that both of you can relate to. By emphasizing what you have in common, you create a more natural and enjoyable atmosphere. For instance, if you both love travel, talk about your favorite destinations and dream vacations. If you're passionate about a particular hobby, share your enthusiasm and invite her to discuss her own interests. This not only makes the conversation more engaging, but also helps build a bond based on shared experiences and interests, rather than the age difference. In short, while it's natural to be aware of the age gap, making it the focal point of your first date can be a major mistake. Instead, focus on creating a positive, engaging dialogue that highlights your compatibility and connection. Remember, a shared sense of humor, common interests, and mutual respect are what truly make a relationship thrive, not the number of years between you. Mistake 8. Trying to control her. Older men dating younger women can sometimes fall into the trap of trying to control their partners, mistakenly believing they know what's best. However, this approach often backfires, leading to resentment and a lack of trust. Feeling like a relationship puppeteer, think again. Dating someone younger doesn't mean you should control her every move. In fact, trying to micromanage your partner can make you the villain in your own love story. Imagine you've planned a first date with a 25-year-old dynamo who's got a zest for life. You meticulously choose the restaurant, decide on the activities, and even suggest what she should wear. Bad move. This approach can quickly transform you from a charming companion into a control freak caricature. Now, I get it. Being thoughtful is great, but overstepping these boundaries can make you come off as overly controlling. It's like trying to drive a car while wearing blinders. You're not just missing the view, you're probably veering off course. Why does this controlling behavior backfire? First, it signals that you're more interested in controlling the situation than genuinely connecting. Second, it risks making her feel like she's just a prop in your perfect date scenario, rather than a partner in a shared experience. So, how can you avoid this pitfall and make a great impression? Start by being flexible and open-minded. Let the date flow naturally. Instead of planning every detail, ask her about her preferences and be willing to compromise. If she's excited about a casual cafe rather than a formal dinner, go with it. This flexibility shows that you value her comfort and opinions, making you appear both respectful and considerate. Remember, as the ancient Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "It is not the events themselves that disturb us, but our interpretation of them." If you're obsessing over controlling the date, you're missing out on the real opportunity, enjoying each other's company and getting to know each other authentically. On your next first date, embrace spontaneity and let go of the reins. Instead of trying to control the outcome, focus on being present and engaging. Show genuine interest in what she enjoys and let the evening unfold organically. This approach not only makes for a more enjoyable experience, but also sets the stage for a genuine connection. After all, the best relationships are built on mutual respect and shared experiences, not on rigid expectations. Mistake 9. Negative energy. Ever found yourself sitting across from someone on a first date, only to feel like you're wading through a sea of gloom? If you've ever experienced a date that felt more like a therapy session than a romantic outing, think again. One common pitfall for older men dating younger women is bringing a cloud of negative energy into the mix. And let's be honest, nobody wants their first date to double as a complaint session. So why is negative energy such a relationship killer? Imagine you've meticulously planned a charming evening, nice dinner, good wine, and hopefully enjoyable conversation. But instead of letting the night breathe, you start offloading about your worries, work stress, health concerns, or your general dissatisfaction with life. Instead of a romantic connection, you've created a somber atmosphere that makes it hard for your date to engage. The mood shifts from potential romance to a string of complaints, and she's left feeling drained and unenthusiastic. Let's face it, older men often have more life experiences and with that, more worries about the future. It's natural to have concerns, but when dating someone significantly younger, it's crucial to manage how you share these. Younger women might not relate to your worries or might even find them overwhelming. For them, a first date should be about discovering each other's positive traits and potential, not feeling like they're part of a never-ending therapy session. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher with a knack for practical wisdom, once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Why not take this to heart? Instead of focusing on life's stressors, redirect your energy towards positive and engaging topics. Talk about what excites you, share your passions, and show genuine interest in her life and experiences. This creates a more enjoyable and lively atmosphere, setting a foundation for a positive connection. Here's a tip to keep things upbeat. Before your date, reflect on the positive aspects of your life. This shift in focus can help you maintain a more optimistic tone during your conversation. Ask about her interests, share your own in an enthusiastic manner, and keep the conversation light and enjoyable. This approach not only makes the evening more pleasant, but also positions you as someone who brings joy and positivity into the relationship. Ultimately, the energy you bring to a date can significantly influence its outcome. By avoiding negative chatter and focusing on positive, engaging topics, you're more likely to make a memorable impression. Remember, bring the good vibes and leave the worries behind. A positive attitude might just turn your first date into something truly special. Here's a fun fact before we continue. Only 2% of viewers take a moment to interact. If you're finding value here, type "agree" in the comments and press that like button to show some love. We truly appreciate your engagement. Mistake 10. Ask to achieve something after the date. Ever heard the saying, "Don't put the cart before the horse"? Well, when it comes to first dates with younger women, some older men seem to be driving that cart straight into a ditch. Imagine this. You've just wrapped up a charming evening filled with laughs and engaging conversation, but as you're about to part ways, you drop the ultimate bombshell, talking about future plans and expectations. Let's dive into why this is a colossal blunder. Picture this. You've enjoyed a fantastic first date with someone significantly younger, and the night is still fresh in both your minds. You're eager, excited, and, let's be honest, perhaps a bit anxious about where this could go. Instead of savoring the moment, you go ahead and ask, "So, what are your thoughts on long-term commitments?" Or, "When can we start discussing our future together?" Now, while your enthusiasm is commendable, this approach can be akin to trying to run a marathon without training, premature and potentially disastrous. You're setting yourself up for an awkward, high-pressure situation where your date might feel overwhelmed and even a bit cornered. It's like walking into a coffee shop and asking for a mortgage application instead of just enjoying a cup of joe. The timing just isn't right. For instance, imagine you're on a date with someone and you ask, "So, are you ready to get serious and meet my family?" It's the first date, and suddenly they're being invited to Thanksgiving dinner with your relatives. That's a lot to process, and it might just scare them off. And if you're obsessing over where things might lead too soon, you're creating unnecessary stress for both yourself and your date. Instead, focus on enjoying the present and let the relationship naturally unfold. Let's shift gears to a better approach. If the date goes well and you're interested in seeing them again, keep it light and positive. You might say, "I had a fantastic time tonight. How about we plan another fun outing soon?" This allows the relationship to breathe and grow organically without feeling pressured. By letting things develop naturally, you're giving both yourself and your date the space to explore and discover if there's a genuine connection. It's like letting a plant grow in its own time, rather than forcing it to bloom before it's ready. This approach helps build a solid foundation of mutual interest and comfort. By doing so, you're more likely to foster a genuine connection and avoid the pitfall of premature expectations. So, take a deep breath, enjoy the moment, and let romance blossom naturally. Mistake 11. Being too serious. For older men dating younger women, this is a common pitfall. While it's perfectly normal to be earnest about your intentions, treating the date like a life or death situation can overshadow the natural chemistry you're aiming to build. Here's the deal. Younger women often seek a sense of adventure and playfulness in their partners. They want to see the fun, light-hearted side of you, not just the man who's mapped out every detail of his life with precision. When you come across as overly serious, it can create an atmosphere that's more stressful than exciting. Picture this. You're on a date with someone who is in her 20s. She's eager to laugh, share stories, and enjoy the moment. Instead, you dive into heavy topics, your career challenges, financial worries, or existential musings. Not only does this shift the tone of the date, but it also puts unnecessary pressure on her to respond seriously, which can stifle the natural flow of conversation. Approach your date with a spirit of ease and fun. Share anecdotes, laugh at life's absurdities, and let your personality shine through. You're not auditioning for a role in a drama. You're there to connect and enjoy each other's company. When you let go of that stern facade, you invite a more relaxed and enjoyable interaction. It's about striking a balance between showing your serious side and allowing room for spontaneity and humor. For example, share a funny story from your past or engage in playful banter. These moments not only break the ice, but also create a connection that's based on genuine enjoyment and mutual respect. If you find yourself veering into serious territory, pause and ask yourself, is this moment contributing to the fun and connection, or is it adding unnecessary weight? Keep your focus on enjoying the date and showing your genuine self, rather than adhering to a script of what you think a serious relationship should be. Mistake 12. Over-reliance on technology. Imagine this. You're gearing up for a first date with a younger woman, and instead of engaging in real-time conversation, you find yourself glued to your phone, checking messages, or scrolling through social media. This scenario is all too common for older men navigating relationships with younger women, and it's a recipe for disaster. Technology is a double-edged sword. On one hand, it connects us and provides convenience, but on the other hand, it can create a barrier to genuine human interaction. When you rely too heavily on technology during a date, you risk appearing disinterested or disconnected, which can be a significant turn-off. You've planned a nice evening out, but as soon as you sit down, you spend more time checking your phone than engaging with your date. She may perceive this as a lack of respect or interest, which could dampen her enthusiasm and create an awkward atmosphere. In the age of smartphones, it's easy to get caught up in notifications and digital distractions, but it's crucial to remember that a first date is about building a personal connection. Instead of using technology as a shield or distraction, focus on being present. Engage in eye contact, active listening, and meaningful conversation. By putting your phone away and dedicating your attention to her, you demonstrate that you value the time you're spending together and are genuinely interested in getting to know her. A practical tip. Before the date begins, set your phone to Do Not Disturb or leave it in your pocket. If you're expecting an important call or message, communicate this to your date beforehand. This way, you're showing that while technology is part of your life, it won't interfere with the quality of your time together. For example, imagine discussing a mutual interest like travel. Instead of pulling out your phone to show pictures or details, use your words and enthusiasm to paint a vivid picture. Share stories, ask open-ended questions, and keep the conversation flowing. This approach fosters a more engaging and personal interaction. In the end, over-reliance on technology can turn a promising date into a missed opportunity for real connection. By being present and focusing on your date, you create an environment where both of you can relax, enjoy, and truly get to know each other. Remember, in the digital age, the most meaningful connections are made not through screens, but through face-to-face interactions and heartfelt conversations. So there you have it, our deep dive into the common first date mistakes older men make when dating younger women. Remember, the key to a successful first date is to be present, positive, and authentic. Avoid letting fears and insecurities overshadow your natural charm. Embrace your age as an asset, engage in real conversation, and give your date the attention she deserves. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button and share it with anyone who might benefit from these insights. Leave your comments below. What's been your biggest first date challenge? And if you want more relationship tips and advice, make sure to subscribe to our channel for updates on all things dating and relationships. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.